So there's the spray element here, there's the foam element, there's the glow element, and then you get these little, as it comes down here and comes down onto the beach, you'll get these sort of very flat, very transparent sort of waves, and they may even have a little bit of suds on them. So we'll keep our eyes out for those. And because it gets really thin, because let's say this is the flat, we'll call this flat right here. You actually see sand in there, right through the water. Even though the water might be glistening, you may get, because it's wet, you may get a little bit of blue reflection from the sky. How about we just get sky reflection? You know what? Let me check and see if my HD is on, because I want to make sure. It's a hard call. I don't want you guys to have this huge video at the same time. I want it to be a good quality video. So, like last time, remember when we did the crit and I had to turn the HD off? So that's my, if anyone could just help, I have a little note right here, you know, HD, turn off.
I'll remind you.
Okay. But I have to have all these notes around me all the time or I'll. So thank you. Anyway, these are some things to think about, okay? So just remember, you really, if you look at this from the side, we were just to do a side cut of this, you have a wave that kind of goes around and curls and really thins out right in there. It might thin out more than that. Like really thins out here and then just gets really thick. That's why you get this glow, because it got really thin through there. Well, did someone have a question? I'm sorry. I probably just turned you off. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I
It's okay.
have been paying attention, but which photo are you working off of now, or are you?
I'm actually just doing this out of my head, really.
Right, but I mean the one above.
Oh, that's just out of my head.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So just realize this. If this comes down and crashes down, you get a little explosion, and it might come back up. And then you might get the ocean spray off the top of this. And then so, and then as this comes up onto the beach, you get these little, just little swirly little waves. They're very, very, very thin. And you probably will see a little bit of reflection on there. So there's just some things to think about as you're doing waves. Now, for the first one, I thought, you know what? I don't know how many of these we're going to do. Because I did one yesterday and it went pretty fast. I thought, I better get up on this stuff. So I did one and it went pretty fast. So, and I used to do a lot of them for Disney. Isn't that funny? So I had to learn a lot about waves. But they were kind of Disney waves. They weren't realistic waves. So ours are fairly realistic here. So how about we'll start off with, let's see this one. let's. I like the wave 9 number 5, but it's a little advanced. And let's say wave number 2 is not at all advanced. Well, maybe we'll stay away from that one for now. We'll go with the wave number 4.
Can you just show us that, because I don't see them numbered?
Oh, you don't? Oh, okay. Maybe I didn't number them then. I thought I did. Let's see. Sure. Let's screen share you.
Yeah, you did number them. It's in the name of the document,
Yeah.
the numbers.
Once they download for me, though, it goes away, so I can't get it back.
That's weird. Huh. This one? Can you see it?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, let's stop sharing that one. And let's see now. Okay. So you know what? Let's just do a and we don't I don't think we need to do a value study here. Let's just draw some lines out now. Let's go and we don't have to worry, like for instance, as far as the sky goes, we can do anything we want with the sky. And some background waves. Okay. And just keep them like that. Here, I'll draw a little darker for you. And you know what? I'll zoom into this a little bit here. What's this one? Okay. Let's keep that over there. I have so many windows open here, it's crazy. There we go. And I can't see my picture. So let's just draw that first wave. The top of it's, fairly flat. Maybe it's a little bit of an angle there, huh? And we get a little curl in here. And then it splashes. If you look at right under the splash, see the shadow? Okay, and then right under the there you got the splash, you got the shadow. Now look under that. See the reflection? Okay. That's what'll do it right there. Little white stuff on the top. The foam goes around here and it goes down here. And you might get some foam over here. I'm not following this actual composition. We could throw in the rock if you want to. I'm doing it a lot more close up, just so you know. And this is just a steady, so we can include the rock too if you want. And then we get that first little wave, the little baby wave on the ground there. But again, even right underneath, we're getting well, there's a little something out of there, not too much. And there's another one up here. So it's just wet. And this one's very foamy. So we're not getting the reflections like you usually do. So something like that for the drawing is fine. And then, so I'm gonna use some ultramarine blue for the sky. Let's try that. We pull that down, just ultramarine blue. This one has like a fog bank on the top, not necessary. If you want to put it in, you can. It's the thing about art. You don't have to put things in just because they're there. Okay. And something very light and maybe a little bit lavender for the clouds. Let's see. Oh, we wanted our ocean to be all the way up here, didn't we? I'm sorry. Then, in this case, the ocean gets pretty dark as it gets far away. That's weird. So I'm going to go with the Prussian blue, and I happen to have a little red in it. And the reason I want a little bit of red in that is to make it feel far away. Remember, the Prussian blue it's already kind of greenish. So if you add a little red to it, that'll gray it a little bit. So then as we get more toward us, it gets that sort of turquoise look. So I'll have much less red in there, so it's more like that. You can do whatever you want. But if you keep it bluer back here, it'll give more punch to your green you're going to put in here. So if you make that green back there, and it could be, some waters are, so, but I would lean off that and really punch basically you're punching the yellow in there is actually what you're doing. And let's just do that right now. So it's Prussian blue. I'm going to put lemon yellow in there. I need to lay out some more paint here in a minute. The cool yellow might be better. The warm yellow's got a little bit of red in it. So I'm just going to throw it in very green first, and then it just progressively gets lighter. And you know what? I've seen a little bit over here too, although it seems to be a little more turquoisey. But wherever you want that main glow to be, in fact, watch this. I'll just hit a straight lemon yellow in there, right in here, right through there, just to get that very vibrant. And then over here, we got this. And I can include a little bit of that over here. And then you notice that as we get into the suds, and you just lose all the color in the wave. And plus, the other thing on the ground here is you're seeing some sand in that down here. So maybe just take red, yellow, and blue and make it more, add more yellow and red into it. That way you get a kind of a dirty orange. Possibly in there. Leaving lots of white for the suds. Or not. It's yours. You can do whatever you want. You can do whatever you want as long as you do it exactly like me. No, I'm just joking. All right. Just like that. Some of these. And then as we get up into this sand, it gets quite orange. let's see, just cad red, cad yellow. I'm just going to throw it in very orange. We can take an orange and just add a little bit of blue to it, and that'll gray it in a second. I would rather start off very orange first. But I like this transition of color. You go from the orange to something more neutral to a very vibrant green to something, more neutral, kind of gray in the back. Just a little steady here. And we got more. I forgot to cover this stuff. I'm seeing a lot of blues and violets back here. And I'm going to use something very, very violet for my shading. Now, the interesting thing about this is that the light's actually coming from the right side. So, I'm going to use ultramarine blue and magenta. And then really, really, really thin it out. You want very light shadows on something that white. So because the light's coming from this direction, we want our shadows to be on this side in the foam and sort of underneath, but they're catching little shadows on the left side. So we can always come back and make them darker, but with white shadows on white, gosh, you really got to hit them light. Back over here. Okay. We have all this foam, so there's just little things in there, but I don't want to hit anything over that reflection. I'm going to leave the reflection white. Yeah, as you can see, little sort of lavender shadows, maybe. And then right here, it does get a little bit blue. Because what's happening here is I think even though it's flat, you're looking across it and you're getting quite a reflection of the sky. So I'm going to make that a little bit more ultramarine blue. See, the reason a wave is so dramatic is because you have all these plane changes. I mean, you've got a whole curl plus all this flat here. So there's just all kinds of plane changes going on. And really interesting. Now, obviously, this reflection isn't as bright as the foam, but we can knock that back in a second. We do get a little bit of green happening along the top here. So the ultramarine and the lemon yellow, I think I'm going to throw in here. Pretty light. Yeah. And then they just kind of just fade into this sort of very light foamy deal. And then I'm going to take a little bit of for the reflection here, I just want a little bit of it's kind of warmer, isn't it? In this case. Wow. Maybe I'll take sort of the sand. Let's see. I just want it to be just a shade darker than the foam. Maybe a little darker than that. Because you don't want it to register as light as the foam. There we go.
Gosh, what colors were you using, Rob, under there?
Pretty similar to this color here.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, a very, very light. You know, red, yellow, blue. Like I say, that dirty orange for the sand. You know, kind of red, yellow, blue, because it does look a lot like the sand. I don't know why, but who knows? And then it looks, of course, like most watercolors do. It's at that point in a watercolor where it's got a lot of light and a lot of mid-tone, but it doesn't have any dark. And that's what you need to pop it with. So, and notice how your darkest dark is right in here, right next to your curl, your little. So that's what creates the drama. So we got to get a good dark in there. I'm gonna use Prussian blue and just a touch of lemon yellow in there, but a lot heavier. And let's just pop that right under there. Get some shadow under there. And see, all under this whole curl. See how you get a little bit of dark right under it? That's what makes it pop. You got to have that dark right under the whole thing. There's not so much under here. It's just starting to, but sometimes I'll tap a little bit in there just for my own. And it gets pretty dark in here as it kind of comes down. See, it's the darks that do it. I mean, in fact, we can get darker. Don't be afraid of the dark. And even this over here does get quite dark. I'm just going with, I'm letting my strokes go with the wave too. Down, kind of curl your stroke. You might get little offshoots of color in there. You know, I see violet in those waves every once in a while where it kind of starts reflection. So don't be adverse to throwing in a little bit of magenta. Maybe a little magenta into there. See? That's kind of fun. You gotta get that shadow right underneath here. And I left that really yellow there. I mean, it isn't, but you can choose to leave it in there or not. If I do this, it'll really make a bigger deal out of the wave. And then, let's see. To make the suds pop more, we need a little more value behind the suds. So I'm just coming back with some of that shadow color I used, kind of a lavender color back here, showcasing the suds a little bit. Even though it's white, it's a little darker behind there. There's a lot going on. And that's probably why we're so attracted to waves. A little darker on the top. And then you can, if you like to hit a little bit darker back here, little ins and outs. But those are generally the colors I use.
Hi, Rob. I have a question.
Yes.
I have done basically the same thing. The lacking from my wave is its cylindrical feeling. Mine looks like flat. How do you give it that third dimension?
In here,
Just the whole wave. No,
it's
the wave.
you know, let's see, it's basically you've got a something like that happening, and as you're putting in your strokes, pull them down this way. And if you pull them straight down, then that's going to make it look flat. So that might have been what you did. I don't know. That's my first suspicion. But these will go, you know, like this direction as you're pulling it, as you're pulling your strokes down. Also over the top, maybe pull them this way. So you know you're getting this feeling, see, just by the way you're putting down your stroke. Over the top this way, under the scoop that way. Yes. So, wow, that sounds like a jet airplane. Okay.
Okay.
You know, this isn't a perfect, you know. And by the way, we can always smack some white on the top too. Now, I mean, I know we did when we did that snow that time, and or what was it? Well, anyway, someone talked about doing waves, so that would be really good for doing the spray. So, but right now we're 100% transparent, and we could just keep it that way. That's fine. There's more we can do though. So we'll talk about it as we do the finish. And we can even take some little suds that kind of climb up this scoop right here. And that can be fun too. We don't have to go, I mean, I'm only using this wave. I'm not making a portrait of this wave or something, you know. I'm going to really just use the wave for instruction. There's lots of things we can do with it. So, okay. All right. So, let's see here. Okay. And you know, that's why I have two out today, because I thought maybe, well, let me zoom out here. You know, it's not the detail that makes this thing work. As usual, I always tell you that, but it's not the detail that's going to make this thing work. It's just knowing a few things. And it's a lot of the things we just talked about. So let's see here. Okay, that's pretty good. Pretty good there. Okay. I should tape it down or something, huh? Forget it. Okay. Let's go. And we'll see how long this lasts. Maybe I'll just do one demo. I don't know. But see, I don't really want to make a big deal about the sky in this in this one. So I think I'm going to bring the horizon way up here. And you know, if you want to throw in some of those rocks, go ahead. They're really jagged rocks, aren't they? They kind of go back and forth and back and forth. Actually, they actually stop. If we brought the horizon up, right, then they would be more like this, huh? And then you can just kind of that kind of deal. Whatever you'd like to do with the sky. Sort of whatever you'd like to do with the background ocean. And then we'll say the curl start. I'm going to have a little more ocean than that. So we'll say the curl starts about here. And it is kind of going at an angle. So I'm going to have it more like that, like that. And we'll divvy it up later. And I want my curl to be right around here, like that. And we'll say it goes around to there, something like that. So it's just doing that. Okay, let's see what else now. And you know, you might want to even put in a couple of strokes, telling these are just strokes that sort of just to tell you what direction to put in your strokes, just directional lines. You know, as you do this, you might want to curl them over the top here too, just some directional lines. You don't have to put them in really heavy or anything. They're just telling you which direction to put your strokes in. And then as we come over here, this side is going kind of steep here, and then it starts curling over and so on. And we could do whatever we want with it. Just take it right off the page. They kind of scoop under too. I got all these suds in here. We'll leave a lot of white. If that's there, we remember our little reflection. I remember I used to do these waves for Disney. It was for their man. What was it for? Oh, you know what it was for? I know what I don't know what movie it was for, but we did all the. I did these murals for them for their storefront windows of New York Times Square, and down here at the El Capitan Theater, and then they did Orlando and Chicago. So we had to do them for all of those different places. And we actually painted them. There wasn't just photoshopped or stuff. They went to Photoshop later. This is before they photoshopped everything. There we go, really flat, kind of really flat underneath there. Something like that. And you know, if you want to, you could just draw, just like we did with these sets here. Like I'm seeing that spray go all the way up here. Why not? Why not? We can just draw lines around all of that. So we have that. That'll be white. That'll be white. There'll be some white up here. So we can just leave it white. white over here on the foam there. All this. And we've got our first little wave there, and we got another kind of wave coming out here. And footprints. You don't have to put the footprints in. They're kind of fun though. And just suds here. It's kind of fun. This really, notice how the curl really flattens out over here. It really flattens out. All of this is just really flat. But if we were to divide this up into thirds, like 1, 2, 3, 4. So our curl is pretty close to that third over here, which is good. As far as the rule of third goes. And you're gonna need some more paint. Let's see, maybe some lemon yellow. Better get it out there now. That's gouache. What's gouache doing in my watercolor? Well, you know, gouache would work really well in this, come to think of it. But we might use a little white. There we go. It's up to you whether you want to use the white or not. Okay. I'm going to go for some sky here and just ultramarine blue. Just paint right over the black rocks. So that's not going to matter. Well, not black, but I mean the dark rocks. And we have some sort of very light lavender in the sky. So I'm going to just touch bits of pink in there. What's that? Magenta. I know that color. Maybe even a touch of yellow back there too. So there's your red, yellow, red, blue, and just very, very little yellow. That's probably way too much. There we go. Just like that. See? See what watercolor does? I just left my dark lines. I don't know if I'd always leave those. They're kind of a... That's okay. Typically, I just draw with a brush. I can put that over there, huh? It's a pretty light sky. If you like, you can add a little more ultramarine to the top. Just making it feel like this is, see that the sky up here is closer to you than that is down there. I heard someone say recently that the sky down at the horizon is closer to you, and I thought, I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. Oh, a little bit of something there at the horizon. Okay. And I'm gonna go down here with that mostly just Prussian blue, and I'm gonna let a little white happen there. So in other words, I'm just gonna kind of lightly, see how I just dry brush that through there like that? I let little speckles happen. I think they might end up being little white caps. They might end up being little waves. Like that. I mean, I'm not here to photorealistically copy this painting. I want to make it better. Like that. So I'm dragging it. You don't want it too dry or the paint won't flow. I'm going to give myself some white here too for that ocean spray. So I'm just going to kind of, we don't have to be in a big rush to put that color right up on the wave yet. And just paint right over the rock.
I'm sorry, Rob. Is that Prussian blue?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. I just felt it with the back of my hand to see if that rock was wet, if it's too wet back there. And it feels pretty good, so I'm going to go ahead with Prussian blue and Cad red. And that usually gives you a pretty good dark. And you don't necessarily have to make it as black as what you're looking at, but it's got a lot of flat marks on it, so I think maybe using a stroke like this. Kind of a horizontal. I like to keep the bottom a little rough, not a sharp edge. It kind of looks like, you know, water's bashing up against the bottom of it. Just like that. And if you let the little white things happen like that once in a while, then it's weird. You know, when you have a relaxed attitude toward your painting, it puts the viewer at ease. But when you're sitting there going, I gotta get this right, I gotta get this right, I gotta get this right. It doesn't matter how good it is. I've seen paintings that are just, you know, extremely well done, but they just make me feel so like they don't put me at ease at all. You bring the attitude to the piece. Okay, now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to lay down a little water first. I'm not putting out a whole lot of water. I don't know, can you see the glare? I'll pull that down. It's not a whole lot, but I'm covering the surface a little bit. There we go. And over here. Okay. And I'll come back with some, I want that, now you could do it, you know, we could just do it like that. This is just Prussian blue. And I'll put that over there too. And I'm just, while it's wet, I'm going to add some of that yellow to it. We can always get this darker. Yeah. And you can take a little water too. Just water. See? Just added water to that. And then as I go into here, I'm really going to add some lemon yellow right there. Just hit it. See how I let my strokes go with the wave. Just riding a wave here. It's kind of good that you have a little blue in there too, just to make it feel like the wave is curling. Why not? I'm going to throw a little bit over here too. I can't help it. Oh yeah, while I'm thinking about this, it just popped in my head. I was going to tell you this before class. For those of you that are signing up for either this or the portrait class, just try to get it to me, before, because I got to get you I don't know who's signing up, so I got to get you all the information, which is just the link and everything. So. Or if it's in the mail, if you just write me an email telling me you are signing up, and then I'll just put you on the list. So either sign up or tell me you are signing up. Because oftentimes it's the very last minute and I don't know who to send stuff to. And okay. All right, now I'm gonna come back. Right across the top of the wave here it's definitely not this strong of color, but there's some like light green into it, so I just put it like that first. And then I'm just using water here. Watch, just pull water. That's just water. Very little. And then do the same thing back here. Just pull it back into the wave. That. So it doesn't have any hard lines around the outside, and then it just feels like it's in the wave. 94.7. No, I'm just joking. So we can let that dry up a bit. And while that's drying, let's hit some of our orange and things in the ground. Some of this orange stuff down in the base. So not really orange, but what you do is you make an orange. Just take your CAD red. All right, and yeah, CAD yellow will be fine. So that then now you got an orange, and then add a little bit of blue to it. I just happen to have a little bit over here. I'll just throw that in there. I could have added pure blue to it, but I don't need very much. What I'm doing is neutralizing the color. That means making it grayer. And I can come back here like that and there's a lot of violet in there too, I see it. Blues and violets in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and magenta and ultramarine blue. And, whoops. Some of that in there. And then there's sort of a little foamy edge. That gets quite blue, doesn't it? Yeah. Did I just ask you a question and then answer it? I'm pretending I'm you. That gets quite blue in there, doesn't it? Yeah, it does, Rob. Sure does. We don't know where you were on that one. Okay. And then I'm going to get quite orange over here because it looks quite orange. Doesn't it? Well, yes, it does. Okay, so not so much blue in there here. Maybe even lighter too. So just add more water. Maybe even yellower. Ooh, that's nice. Take that all the way off the page. I got a little hair right there. Best thing to do with the hairs, just leave them. Because if you get in there and try to mess with it, you're going to mess all that stuff up. I mean, I could probably maybe pull it out, but I don't know. I wouldn't. And we have a lot of foam here, and we have a lot of reflection here from the sky. Let me get that in there. So I'm going to just going to take a little bit of water. I have a little bit of, what do you call that, Prussian blue on there. Just keep a little foamy edge. And I just take these right up into that wave. All my strokes go with the wave. And, ooh, that's neat. I threw a little Prussian blue in there. I like that. You'd be surprised what you can do and totally get away with. Because all kinds of things can happen in a wave, so. I mean, sometimes you get like red seaweed curling up in there. You know, in our waves, we get that kelp. And it actually, you get this red in the wave, which is kind of neat. Oh. Yeah, there we go. All the way to there. Okay. Let's see. Right, and then I want these ones to be kind of flat here. If I put a stroke up here like that, and then it ends up being a line, what I'll do oftentimes is just blend it out with a little bit of water on each side. That's why I put in those lines. I think that was the problem maybe, Caroline, you were having earlier, was I put in these little directional pencil lines to tell me which way to stroke as I go with the wave. And again, some more of that ultramarine here, very light. Again, I'm going to come in. I'm going to use a lot of the same color in the shadows of these suds. Ultramarine, maybe a touch of magenta in there just to make it kind of lavenderish. That's pretty dark. Off to the left side, bring your shadows. Even on this foam right here, you want your shadows on this side, the left side. So it feels like it's being struck by light on this side. I have a lot of pencil lines in there, so if I really want that to read, I'll have to erase those out. And even here too, just come back and hit some on the left sides. Every little foamy little form has a bit of a shadow to it. Think of it like snow. Snow is another really white thing you see in nature. You don't see a whole lot of white in nature. Not this white. This is one of the whitest whites. So is snow. It would just get crazy. In fact, I could have definitely made this bigger, this crash. Oh, wow. Oh, well. Crazy. All right. All right. The zigzaggy looking shadows in there. We have this foam, which I don't know why it's reading as warm, but I'm getting some warmth out of that. I'm going to take some of my thin water here. So this is very flat in here, so this is why my strokes are not going like this anymore. As we're down here, we're on the ground. These are getting kind of flat. And then right in here it gets kind of warm. So I'm using very much like these sandy colors. It's not unlike that down here. I think I'll mix a little bit of blue into it though. We're just trying to take the edge off this value down here, so it feels like more of a reflection. And I'll hit a dark under that later. To get that foam to read, sometimes you just have to take off the white, or the pencil line was a little dark. I tend to make them dark just for class so you guys can see. It just kind of depends on what you're trying to do. If you Now what we can do here is take a little bit of water along the edge out here. This is just the edge of the water, this background water. I'm taking a little bit of water here, and this is how we maybe get a little bit of that spray going. So instead of putting white on and pulling it out, which would, that's what we would do if we were working positively. You know, watercolor is a lot of negative painting, so we work it backwards. We take the ocean into the water here, and we just give ourselves that soft edge. The water makes it soft, and you could just pull that into your I'm just using the same colors we used back here, kind of mostly just Prussian blue. Just to give a little spray, maybe, let's see, I'll just, yeah, with my finger. Watch this, just, see? Just to give a little foamy on the, I'm sorry, a little spray on the top here. I guess most of the spray is happening off this stuff. Whatever works. Just basically what you're doing is you're just trying to soften the edge. And you do that by pulling the background into the white. Oh, fun. So while this is down here, we can hit a couple little darkies down below. See what that does? And that gets the wave to feel like it's sitting down. Now, I'm just going to take a little bit of water and blend those out a little bit. And if they turn out to be too light, to feel like a shadow under there, then I'll just come back and smack a little dark again. Like that. Nice and flat. I see some of it actually comes up into the wave too. Into the shadow of the wave a little bit. Some warmth in there. Yeah. Hold on a second. Okay. This is looking fun. Now, let's get into this dark here. And I'm seeing a lot of Prussian blue in there. A lot of Prussian blue. And maybe a little bit of lemon. That'll lighten it up a touch. And we should, you know, right here, oh, you know, I didn't leave that little highlight there, did I? Darn it, I should have left that. I didn't see that. Oh well. You know, that's because the light's actually coming from this direction. That's why you're getting a highlight there. You wouldn't, I don't think you'd actually get that normally. Okay, well, whatever. I'm putting in my dark like this. I'm just kind of zigzagging up and down, and here too. Zigzagging up and down. And then I'm gonna clean off my brush because I don't want those hard lines there. And I'm going to just use water, and I'm pulling down, pulling down. If you get too much this blue on your brush, just rinse it off. I keep it with me. My rag with me. Same here, just pull this, watch, I'm gonna pull this up into it like this. Now mine's starting to dry. So you gotta be careful. You gotta be quick. Not necessarily careful, just quick. Mine's already starting to dry. It'll be okay. And it really needs, I really see some dark in here, like right in there. There wouldn't be a lot of light hitting there because that foam is just blocking all the light. Pretty much your darkest dark is right in there. That was just straight Prussian blue. And if you like, you could take something a little darker. I mean, I know it's not there, but we could just working it up the wave, a few of them. And I do the same thing over here. I'm not gonna put so much glow in it, but just like that. Go ahead. Maybe a little bit of that green coming through. Probably flat on the bottom. Got a little wet on. Mine got a little wet. Ooh, I like that. Now, I know in the picture it's much darker than this. I kind of like what's happening though, but I also know that watercolor is going to dry lighter. So I'm going to go ahead and hit that just a smidge. Put a couple of those in, especially when they're wet, because they'll just blend all out on its own and, do the beautiful watercolor thing. Sorry. And I see a little. As I come down here though onto the flatness, I want these strokes to be flatter. See down here, I'll even put a couple of those little like interruptions, little sort of, they're shadows, but they're really skinny and small down here. Really flat. I mean, sometimes you even see the sand in there, so I'm not adverse to throwing in something a little bit warm. Got a little dark though. I want it warmer, not darker. There we go. And I think in these foreground suds, you're getting sand mixing up in the suds, and that's making them warm colored. So you can choose to put that in there or not. I like the variety of color. You got the blues and you got the oranges. Yeah, just these ones over here just kind of flatten out. See, I love these. You have these strokes, you can see what the artist was. How the artist was kind of feeling their way around. I actually call them feeling strokes. Because a lot of times you can see the artist just kind of, they don't know exactly, they're just kind of feeling their way into it. A few of these very flat strokes here. So there's that little hair. It's all dry now, it'll just blow right away. Get off there. Okay, quite a hard edge here. Maybe just a little water on that first. Sometimes I'll let that absorb into the piece, and then I'll just come and scrub it. Usually rubs right out. You know, while I was doing that other foam, the shadows on the foam earlier, you know, I easily could have come and hit some of the shadows like on this foam up in here. I don't know why I didn't. Get lavender. I just make that with magenta and ultramarine blue. And then really just a couple. Because there's a lot of white on it, on the face of it. It's kind of nice to see other colors in the water too. You know, occasionally hit something kind of warm, like an orangey thing. Occasionally hit some like a lavender thing in there. Just gives it a little spice. Now I love these marks like this wet edge here that's giving me this. So I don't know. Some people don't like that. I think people miss the concept of painting. They look at painting as though this is a medium. This is something you use to make things look realistic. So in the end, you don't want any brush strokes. But that's definitely not a modern way of looking at things.
But Rob, it
yeah.
definitely looks like water against the sand.
Yeah. And when you come up and look at it, you can see this edge that's made. We see these kind of edges, you know, all over the place. They're out on the sidewalk. I mean, you know, it's a very natural edge that water makes, right? Like a water residue mark.
Right.
So, I mean, I like the duality of that. I mean, that's just not something I like. That's a modern concept in artworks, is to have the medium showing off the qualities of the medium, not covering them up. Like classical painters, you know, would always cover that up because their whole idea was to make this illusion. So you would be, you know, blown away that they made this this painting that was so realistic.
I had gone out of the room and came back in and saw that on the screen, and I thought, how did Rob do that? It's so perfect for a beach and the water on the sand. So
Were you gone for a while?
no, I just gone out of the room for a few minutes and came back in.
Well, thanks. You know, if you want to paint some little what do you call them? Little footprints in there. I'm using kind of that lavender color again. And see what happens is that on this part of the footprint it catches light, but on this part it catches shadow. So if you kind of come in like that, hit them more like that. I mean, these are very similar strokes, so I don't like using the same stroke for every single one, but in general, you know, something more like that. But if you don't have to have the edges be so harsh. I'm just using a little touch of water on the sides. Maybe a couple more. So these two are kind of below each other. How it kind of feels a little awkward. So I just take a little water. Kind of take them out a little bit, and maybe I'll put that over there. Now they still look like little dots. And you're probably wondering, how do you get that highlight over there on the other side? I don't know. Could you tell me? I'm sure many of you know, but what I can do here is just come back with a kind of sandy color. Again, take an orange and add a little bit of blue to it. All right, red, yellow, and blue, right? Red and yellow make orange, and then you add blue. Very little blue, but see if I can come over here and darken the sand a little bit. And then right around like here, I can leave it light. Right around there. You don't have to do it everywhere, but so the highlight right there is at the very end. So you get a little. It's a very watercolor way to do things. Certainly could come back with a little white too and do it, add them that way. Sargent. I was looking at this Sargent yesterday. Beautiful. Kind of a river scene, like a waterfall. Very subtle. He's white everywhere. And he painted it. I would call this more of a gouache painting than I would a watercolor. But who cares? It's just gorgeous. There's so many watercolors of his I have not seen. Occasionally I just run across one. I'm like, God, there's another one I haven't seen. He must have just done so many of them. Little things like that. And then that gives you the illusion of a little light there. And, you can throw little things in the sand. Our sand, we always get that red seaweed. And this right here would be indicative of our coast, because our coast has a volcanic type rock on it, like that. So you certainly could throw some of that red. Seaweed if you want. Mostly just for a hint of color. We got reds, we got yellowsies and bluesies. Still stuff sitting on the beach. If I don't want to make a big deal out of it, I just leave it like that. Okay. The thing I want to do though is I want to hit this top line here a little harder. I'm just going to use a little water. And then as it comes down here too, it's not so white. Again, a little bit of Prussian blue and a touch of yellow. That color I'm making is not so It's not pure. Must have something else in it. It's kind of a gray, right? It's kind of graying, so that means it must have a touch of red in it. Yeah, it gets quite dark through here. Right there. And then really kind of comes down. I noticed there's kind of highlights on the wave right there. I'm gonna leave it white in the center and pull a little bit of that down into here. Really show off these studs. Gotta get something dark behind them. There we go. And I can just use some of my strokes going around the wave. Good enough. That's pretty good and dark. Maybe I'll come back now and hit some little things in the water. Actually, I do like that color. That's just Prussian blue. I think I'm gonna add a little bit of red to that, so it's not too colorful. See, I'm letting a lot of that under that first coat. I'm not covering it up. I'm just adding a little darks to it. These are really dark here. Wow. That might be a little too dark. Go. You know, it's watercolor. You just add a little water. Yeah, but some of these right behind your suds and that little spray, that little fuzz, and it'll really show it off. I notice this doesn't have the fuzz as much on here. I actually don't mind it, but there we go. It could very well be that you want some more green up in here. So I'm going to just tap a little bit of yellow into that blue here and there, like that. And see, I got a kind of a hard line again. So wherever I have a hard line, if I want to move it away, I'll just add a little water. Just adding water. Just to soften edges. Here too. And you can't really see the top of that wave anymore, but on the other hand, I can't really see it in the piece either. And maybe I liked it. Now, this is one of those things where I might actually, let's see, take a dry brush with nothing on it, just a dry brush, because this is wet, and just go like this, see? Give me a little bit of spray there, see? Else. Again, I think I want these sets to pop out a little bit more. pretty normal in watercolor. Just come back and pop your darker things toward the end. So I put that in there, and then I just sort of work them out back into the wave. Zigzag them back. That kind of makes the white pop out more. And you know, it's watercolor, it might dry light again, so I might have to do it again, but if you really want those white, fuzzy, sudsy things, you have to leave pure white paper, and sometimes you have to come back and hit it with pure white. And a lot of times, these pencil lines that I drew so dark, I just erase out. Back here too. Sometimes they don't come out because there's just too much paint on top of them, but and I can come up and play like with the underside of this. Yeah. It's really thin and transparent under there, possibly, so. I'm just taking a little bit of the Prussian blue again, and there we go. A little bit of Prussian blue and a touch of the lemon yellow. Not this much lemon yellow, just a little bit. Just making it lighter, a little bit lighter than that. Just dabbed it with my paper towel. It got a little dark back there, but it doesn't bug me. See this little thing right here? This is just an accident, but it looks like crashing suds. So that's why you leave a lot of the white paper. And up here kind of does too. And if you wanted some of these to feel kind of more active, sudsy kind of things here, I'm just using kind of a circular motion of shading here. I don't know if that's really helping, but we'll see. Now I'm going to do something kind of weird that you watch. If you look at it upside down, see how you've been used to looking at it one way. See how things might stand out that weren't standing out before? And if you look at it like this, at an extreme angle, like this or like this, look at your work that way and you'll see it. Things will stand out. Like I have a line under here I don't like under the suds. I can take a lot of that out with a brush. I mean, it's kind of there, but I think maybe I emphasized it a little too much. No big deal. I can take that out. Just kind of scrub it out a little bit. And then just blot. And I can see that I picked up some. So if you kind of stamp it, so that got rid of some. But I'd like to break up that line a little bit more. It's damp. So let's see. Oh. So, a lot of artists use little white accents and stuff. I can come back and break that up, but just by taking a few little sudsy things like this and kind of breaking that up a little bit. That's just gouache. Sometimes I make them a little too big, and then I come back later and I hit, I just put some shadows over it. That will dry much darker. See, it's not going to dry as white as that. If I really want it to dry really white, I got to put it on really thick, like that. So there's some ways to use white. If you wanted some more of that foam crashing kind of thing, I could do this. Just take a couple up there like that. Kind of different ways to use it. Might want a little shadow underneath there. We'll see. You could also do the foam if you wanted the foam just kind of. Yeah, I kind of like how my phone's looking there. If I want a little bit more, I could just take it off the top there. Yeah. I love it when the wind just carries it away. Have you ever seen that out at the beach and the wind just takes it and sometimes really far? I've seen it do that. Certainly could. It's just accents, you know? Just come back in and smack some accents. Now I'm going to really thin the white out here. And here's a little move. Watch this. See? Just looks like little foamy things. No. If you get it really wet, just feels like kind of a little glaze on top of the. And that'll dry you might not hardly even see it at all. That's fun. Another one of my fun little ways to use white is to do this and let it dry like that. And then if you really want that spray, just take water. This is just water on top of your white, and then you can just, it doesn't take very much at all. Like there, and then it turns into that little spray. And it blends right into this other stuff I did before, and gosh, it's just got a great look to it. And this is, I was just looking at Homer did Winslow Homer did lots and lots of painting of waves. Sometimes using no white at all, sometimes using lots. Fun. Ooh, that's only 11. It's 11:14. Oh. Signature. Oh. That came out awfully light. That's better. That came out awfully dark. That came out somewhere in the middle. And there's my little stamp. I'll stamp it right there. Okay. And then put the Henry stamp. Perfect. Right on the wave. Stamp of approval.
Rob, what is your chop of? What's the symbolism?
What's what?
What does that symbolize? I can't see from here what it is.
It's my name.
It is your name? Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It means wise artist. No, I'm just joking.
Ah, okay.
No, it
this
doesn't.
one has the last name Shay.
Oh,
Last initial Shay.
well, my last name, my last initials. Okay. Sherrill. Oh, fun! Crashing waves. Magnificent. Well, that was fun. How about I let you finish up here a little bit? Let me look at my email here. Oh boy, a whole bunch. It just, I think we might, let's see, there's somebody sitting in today, a couple of people. We just send our pictures in, just so you know. Just take a picture of your work if you want me to critique it, and then send it in. We have a lot of people, so I'm going to start now. Oh. I remembered, Diane. I remembered. Turn off the HD.
Yay, Rob. Good.
Did good.
Turn off the HD. Yeah, great.
You never forget. How come you're so good? That's amazing. I wish you were in all my classes. Then I never forget. Okay. So, Francis, Oh, okay. That's another one. Oh, okay. There you go. There's the painting. I'll read that later. Plein Air Class. Okay. So I think Charlotte's the first one here. And, oh, Charlotte. Let's just do that. There we go. And let me get you on the screen sharing. Oh my gosh.
Well, I was experimenting with watercolor
cool.
on canvas.
On watercolor on canvas?
Yeah, and I felt that in this painting, somehow the rocks were more important than the waves when I got into it.
You know what my first feeling was, like instantly when I first saw it? And I said, oh my gosh. Now, I was thinking that it almost felt like, what's the word? Like you had a varnish on it or something, but I could see now you did. Oh, it's just shining. That's what it is. Almost like you had lacquer on top of it or something.
No, it's just watercolor on canvas. And a lot of my friends are experimenting with that also. I'm going to have to spray it.
Well, I remember Dan McCall used to have us do that and then paint oils on top of it. It's a great way to lay in a painting, but it's a great look on its own.
I know I was actually going to do an oil, but then I decided to. It just got a little busy, but that's the way the painting is, I guess.
Yeah.
Your wave was amazing, I think.
Amazing waves.
Yours was wonderful.
You know, I went and looked on YouTube. There's a lot of people that paint waves on YouTube. It's a thing. Maybe I should say I paint waves too. Want to see?
I think in my gallery, everybody stuck in their waves, so it was like overly done. It seems like everybody is doing waves down here.
Maybe. Oh yeah, you're in La Jolla, or where are you? No.
In Oceanside, Carlsbad area.
Okay, yeah, close by. Yeah, lots of waves around there. That's beautiful. I love the crashing. How did you do that? Toothbrush?
I splattered gouache.
Ah. Did you splatter it? Did you do this
with a toothbrush?
Oh, okay. Have you ever tried the technique where you go like this?
Yeah, but the toothbrush is more interesting, and then I had to go back in and cool some of it.
Yeah. You feel a lot of action in this piece. I really think that was great. Doing watercolor on canvas is just really cool.
It was a great experiment. I'm going to spray it with Krylon.
Yeah. Yeah, I like your rocks. You did the one with those other rocks. Yeah, I thought that was a good one.
Yeah, it was more about the rocks than the waves.
Yeah.
After I got into it.
Yeah, I didn't know this was. I thought maybe we were gonna do 2 of them today, but I didn't. So.
I don't know. I think your class is great I use it for experimentation.
Yeah.
And so it's really nice because I end up with some really nice paintings.
Well, see, this is what I encourage everybody to do, is just use the class as you see fit. Use it. Don't feel like you have to be. I mean, you know what I mean. You're in control of it. So you use it to your. So if you want to try something new, if you want to try some gouache, or if you want to try a different kind of paper, or like you're doing a different on canvas. That's pretty cool. Oh, by the way, did you prep the canvas in any particular way, or just regular canvas with?
Well, I had sometimes when I do a big acrylics, I have extra paint, so then I take all my canvases and put light washes on them to use up the extra paint. So it had like an underneath orange paint, a light orange.
Oh, so that was on there first, huh?
I was on it already.
I see it kind of coming through here and there. Yeah.
Very light, but I like to use up my paint that way.
Yeah. Yeah. Why not?
I know.
Some people will use like a palette knife, and so as they're drawing, let's say we were to draw the wave and whatever, use the palette knife to cake on some either modeling paste or maybe some just gesso and get a little bit of texture on there first. Let it all dry, then stain in your colors. You'll get, there's a little way you can get some texture in certain areas.
Yeah, that would be good. I almost was going to use a knife, but then I wanted it to be not a knife painting, because once I started with the knife, the whole thing would be a knife painting.
Yeah, and that wouldn't be so nice.
Restrain myself.
I'm just joking.
I
That was me trying to be funny. Okay. Okay, thank you.
Well, thank
Nice
you for the
work.
demo. Beautiful wave you did.
All righty. Okay, nice work. Oh, let's see. Okay, now, Caroline. Ooh, very light. You do lots of very, very light things. That's indicative of watercolor too. I like this big crashing one over here to the right. You got inspired.
Part.
Huh?
That's my favorite part. It wasn't supposed to be there, but it just happened.
And look how transparent it looks. All of it. Plus you got all the watercolor effects. See? You've got the blooms up here and there. You've got them in here dripping. Why not? I mean, who says that has to be so dark? And then, so if you wanted to, you could come back with a little white. Let's say if the light was coming in from this direction, you could hit some white up there. And you remember how I let it dry and then it came back and played with the edges with just a little water? So that's something you can do. You could hit the tops of all of these, maybe the tops of this. It'll work. It'll definitely work.
Yeah, I feel like I need to respect the white of the paper.
Okay.
And I'm not.
And then the only way to get those to pop would be to go darker, and I would just leave it. So, yeah, I know the white. The problem with white is that if you get too carried away with it, it can just really kill all the luminosity of the piece. But it's got a really transparent feeling to it. I like that. What do you think about this?
What?
See this edge right here, how it's kind of shooting out of the piece? What I might do is just take a little of this color back there, and it wouldn't be as attracting. Usually when you have a line coming out of the piece, it tends to pull us out a little bit. So if you were to maybe soften that edge a little bit, and maybe pull a little bit of this back there, I don't think it would be a problem at all. It's just really a quick fix. That's something I might try.
The line at the bottom that's coming back is not pulling you back in, huh?
Oh, you mean this one? Kind of pulling us back in?
The one underneath, it's like the wave kind of wraps around, makes kind of like a circle. But I get your point completely.
I would just remember the eye is attracted to high contrast areas and sharp edges. So like that's why we came right into here, which is perfect. You showcase that very nicely. And so then I would just very, very, very lightly just soften that edge. Just not a big deal at all. Yeah. All right. Thank you very much. Nice color. I like the pink in the sky is really nice too. Okay, Ethel. Wow, looks so good with that mat on it.
I matted it because I thought, hey, it could deserve it.
Yeah, and then you wouldn't put the rock in the foreground. I like that. I like the rock.
I thought a rock was maybe more appropriate.
Yeah, I see. I have so many pictures of our beaches with all these dark volcanic rocks just like this.
Yeah.
They look good too. The perspective on them is very nice.
Oh, good.
I mean, I have no problems with them. Maybe a little dark on the background mountain. I mean, it is really dark.
Yeah, I was trying to get it. I had it for a while. I had it like sparkling white, and I
you had it too light. Yeah.
But only got it too dark. So. But I can lighten
I
it.
personally would lighten that up and maybe save the darks for the foreground, but I like the foreground, so maybe I just lighten that up a touch.
Yeah. I can do that.
Yeah, then anything, if you wanted that glow in here a little bit more, you can come back in with a little, you can just take water and stamp this a little bit and pull up a little bit of that color, then add a little bit of something yellow. You got the highlight in there, they're very nice.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I could see a little of that in there, just a little.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe even up here, maybe aqua, like an aqua or something up there. I don't know.
Yeah, I kind of, I didn't get really good greens and blues. They kind of, but.
Yeah, they'll, the second you start, you start mixing the color, they'll turn gray on you.
Yeah.
Oftentimes it is gray though. I mean, the truth is, reality is pretty gray. We have to pump up the reality a little bit, so. Oh, very nice. I like your red, yellow, and blue in the sky. Very nice. Lovely.
Yeah, I was surprised. It sort of looks almost like a little reflection towards the beach there, like that wave reflection is going all the way. It's kind of.
You mean
funny.
this?
Yeah, that.
Yeah, it does.
I was impressed. I thought, how did I do that?
That makes me want to, pull a little more white in front of mine. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Very nice. And we have Katie. Hey, Katie, beach scene.
Hi.
2/17/21. I like that.
217.
Whoa. Hey, cool. So what'll make that feel like it's curling more, like right over here, by the way. This is great right here.
Oh.
This is great. So if you want that feeling a little bit more, what I might do is, and it, it's up to you obviously, but maybe tag a little bit more white up here up on the top.
Yeah, it kept drying up on me, and
Yeah.
it sort of disappeared.
And the other thing to do possibly is, and I don't know if I can do it with this. Let's see. Hit something dark right underneath.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that'll kind of make it feel like it's curling. You don't have to hit it. You can hit it in places here too. Although it feels pretty good over here. So those are some things I think about. Nice color.
Thank you.
And
is the rock too dark?
It's a bit dark. Mine's about like yours. Mm-hmm. I could see me too lightening mine up a little bit.
Okay.
And I think that's about it. I mean, again, if you want to have a little more white down here too, I could see a little touch.
Down where? Oh, okay.
Just on the tops, like the top. Leave it shadowy down at the bottom and hit a little bit of light on the tops of your foam.
Okay, yeah, I did. So I don't get gouache. It's just, it baffles me.
Put it on really thick. People add too much water to it and then it just dissolves into mush. Put it on thick.
Okay.
And kind of dry brush it, then let it dry, and then I just play with the edges with water, and it just looks beautiful.
Okay.
Yeah, the key is to really put it on like I know like for instance, I'm putting this on really, and then it ends up drying a little lighter. But you need to put it on like this, really. Whoops. Like really, like white. Then come back and just when it's dried up, hit a little bit of fuzz around the outside, and you do that with just water. Just pull it out.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. There's Deborah. Let me get my stuff off of there. Cool. Loving that edge. This isn't very big, right?
It's very small. In fact, I sort of gave up on it after a while because I had merged too much stuff.
Uh-huh.
And I started another one, but I like this better, so I went back to it.
Typical indecisive artist.
Yeah.
Now, if you come back and hit a little bit of something dark under this, you'll watch that thing will curl.
There you go. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
get the
No,
curl.
obviously I was listening to you while I was trying to do the second painting, but I didn't, finish this one.
It's the way to get curlization into your piece.
No, I like that. Thank you.
Curlization is it ivity. Curlivity? No. Nice edge back here. I like that. Yeah, so as you put your strokes down, and I see you doing that, you want, and this just goes for everybody, just remember, put your strokes down in this sort of curling quality. And then as it gets down here, you really want to flatten them out. Really flatten those strokes out. Yeah, you did right here. Good.
Yeah, well, the whole thing was so wet that it was, that's why I stopped partially.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, but this is really helpful. I didn't want to do any more to it without, the critique.
Other than that, any other questions? Maybe soften this edge right here.
Yeah.
I came back and softened my edge with a little bit of water, and then I think I tagged a little white on there in places.
That sounds good. Rob, thank you.
Okay. All right, thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
Very nice. And where are we at? Francis. Clear all drawings. Well, you got colorful today. Look at that. I mean...
Well, but what I didn't know how to do, there's the horizon line and then there's a wave that is starting way back there. Because, the second line. But I didn't know how to show that, and it doesn't work the way it is.
So you want to flatten that out?
Well, I guess the horizon line needs to be flattened out and thinner, and then use the same color until I get to the wave that's coming toward me, that second line. Yeah.
Yeah, I would, if you take a little touch of like this color, or maybe this.
Oh.
A little touch of that'll gray it. Okay. And then if you just soften the edge like you did over here.
Okay.
It won't feel like this looks like a really big wave right here. And it could be. I mean, I've seen them.
Yeah.
If you're going to do that, then give it a little white cap.
Okay.
No, they look good. I'm telling you, the little. I mean, I love to see more stormy situation. That's a little too white, but
Yeah. Okay.
a little here and there. It can be fun. Otherwise, I would just soften the edge.
Okay.
Yeah, just soften that edge with just a little water. And it does get darker as it gets further away. Maybe there's a shadow being cast on it by the clouds or something.
Mm-hmm.
But then your question was how to make it more pretty up in here, more saturated?
Well, no, my question was the second line in there, which was the next wave coming in.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to show that very well, so.
Well, if it's going to be a wave like that, they would probably in places have some foam on the top.
Okay. Well, okay.
I would hit a little foam on there.
Okay.
It doesn't, you won't see any definition in it. This is why I left so many little white caps in the background. I just dry brushed them.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what they look like. There's nothing. They're just little dry brushes of white.
Okay.
I didn't do anything to them really. They're a lot of fun. So, but if I forget or if I took too many out, what I'll do is I'll just take the white and come back in and hit some more white on top of things.
Okay.
You could get white. It could happen. Sure. Now, if you're wanting more of that glow in here, what you can do is just take a little water and let it sit on there for about 30 seconds or so, and then dab it out with your rag. And so you get and then come back into it with a little lemon yellow, glaze it right over.
Okay.
And fade it back in. That's something I do. You know, you got a nice little transparency in here. That looks like you're looking through foam into the wave. That looks nice.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. And you got this feeling also that you were really looking down the coast a little bit more.
Yeah.
And now we're looking down on the wave, a little bit more down on the wave than I am looking down on the wave because in order to see all this back here, you have to be up above the wave looking down at it a little bit. So yeah, the more you push that, the more it look like you're standing up on, and you could have been, certainly could be up on a little bit of like a, I know like at Laguna, you could see this kind of thing happening where there's a little park.
Right.
It's up on a little bit higher plane. So certainly could happen. All right.
Okay.
That's looking good. You got that little shadow under there. Occasionally I might hit a little bit of a shade, little bit of touch, just a touch of shadow in here once in a while. That could be nice.
Okay.
Those little ones, they have little dinky little accents, just touches, make them stand out.
Okay. All right.
Okie dokie.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Judy.
Hey, Rob.
Clear. Hey. Oh, what do you think? Nice color. I like your browns and beiges in the foreground. They really give a lot of variety to it.
Yeah, I don't like my wave. I feel like it's too square. You know, my main wave.
Squarish.
Does it seem too square? You know, it seems too square.
Okay. So then what you do is take this color back here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have exactly the right color, but take it and curl. I don't know, it's not going to be dark enough here. I'll just use black.
Okay.
Take it and pull it in. Now what you really got going for you, by the way, is see how this part right here feels like it's in shadow. And it would be. And then over here, you have enough white on it it looks like it's coming from shadow and into the light, which is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to kill that. I just want to pull a little curl in there like that. Just go like that.
Should I make the back part of it lower? Like, did it get too tall?
This?
Yeah.
I mean, it certainly could be that way, but maybe since you used white, maybe use a little bit more white here.
Okay.
And here. And if you don't like the way this looks back here, then just take a little background color and pull down into it.
Oh, okay.
So
I enjoyed adding I mean, I'd like to learn how to save my whites better. I don't do very good at that, so I end up adding white, but it's kind of fun to use the white.
Well, I think in the beginning I kind of showed you what it would look like without any white, and then I just came back and accented it with white. Mainly I just used the white for accents. But,
right. I just find it's hard to save the white. I get so many hard edges when I save the white.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I don't mind. And come back and blast these out too if you like. I mean, now one of the ways just remember, one of the ways I use white is I come back and I hit that white, like I hit it pure white.
Okay.
This one allows me to be less transparent there. So I hit it pure white. And so maybe on some of these, so that means you have to don't use hardly any water in your brush when you do that. Just almost dry brush it on. and it'll get really white. And then after it dries, come back and just finesse some things out into it. You'll see you'll get the, like this ocean spray, be perfect.
Judy,
that's the secret. What was that?
I was just going to say, before Judy does anything, she should look at it again, because waves do all kinds of things.
Yeah, they do.
There are square waves. I mean,
yeah,
I'd really look at it before you do anything.
Thanks, George.
Yeah. It's cool. I like it. This is a great move. This is really great right here. That makes me want to pull some sud, like get some of that suds in there and have some in light and some in shadow. That's very effective. I kind of wish I did that now. I think I'm gonna probably go back into my piece and do that. You've inspired me.
That's funny.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you. Yeah. That's definitely something I used to do when I painted waves. I haven't painted a wave in a while. We got Claire. No picture. Your catalytic converter got stolen. I was busy dealing with the fallout. Okay.
Yeah, I had to arrange lift rides for my husband to go all over the place.
Your catalytic converter got stolen? You mean?
Yeah, they just like sawed it right off, and it's like, I already got an estimate. It's like $4,600 to get it repaired.
You are kidding me.
I am not kidding. It is.
What kind of car do you have? A brand new car?
No, it's a 2006 Honda Accord. Like, it's an ancient car, but that's...
Yeah, you might as well get a new car.
I know, we're going to get a new car. But, it's like, what a pain in the ass. Oh, sorry.
You know what? Those Hondas, though, they just love Hondas. I don't know what it is. And those older Hondas, they're just built like they're the most well-engineered cars of all time, I think.
I
and
know.
It's
been a good car, but, anyway, so I wasn't able to pay attention. So, at any rate, I will do it later when I see the recording.
Okay.
Well, did this happen in your driveway?
No, it's on I have street parking on my street. So, yeah.
Oh.
My dog didn't bark.
Oh, your alarm.
My alarm clock did not go off.
What good are you for?
I know.
Fiji, and you don't even bark?
Yeah.
Man.
Anyway, it was good. I'll look forward to doing it later.
Too bad. Sorry.
Okay.
Thanks.
Daryl, wow. There's a lot of pure color there.
Yeah, it's kind of bright.
Yeah. Well, it's always better to start off bright because it's very easy to gray. Very, very easy to gray anything. Let's see here. Yeah, so.
You think I should darken the water a little bit?
Let's see. You could come in possibly with a little bit of something in here if you like.
Yeah.
Maybe down in here.
Yeah, more Prussian blue under there.
Yeah. And you see how your lines are going this way?
Yeah.
Let's see. Whoops. Maybe they will go more this way. I mean, I can hardly see your line, so that's fine. But if you pulled a couple this way, I think you get more of that scooping action. So.
Yeah, I could try wiping it out and change the angle on those. Yeah, put more curve in the yellow, huh?
Yeah. And if you put a little bit of a shadow underneath your suds, they'll pop out more. And then,
well, that'll probably give it more shape, make it look more natural. Okay, I'll try to wipe that out, Rob. Wipe that out and then kind of give it put yellow or Prussian blue?
Prussian blue.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I would put a little bit more shadow into your, like for instance, if the light's coming from this direction, that's hard to see.
Okay.
If the light's coming from this direction.
Should I wipe it? Should I wipe it out first or just come in with a darker Prussian blue?
Oh, you mean here?
Should I wipe that area out before I add more paint?
I wouldn't. I just add more paint in there.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you're fine.
Okay. Just come in with darker Prussian blue and then try to put some of those curves in there. Okay.
Yeah.
Shadows and curves.
And I can see a couple more shadows in your suds here. Leave a lot of white, but just a couple of shadows in your suds I think would be nice.
Yeah, I came back in with the white gouache and tried to get some of that foam, and then it
right there.
Came out too bright there. Unless I come back with some blue, kind of kill some of that.
Yeah, just a little bit. It doesn't take very much, that's for sure.
Yeah, when you scrub that white gouache in there, I guess you got to go back and forth, kind of get it right.
Yeah.
Because I got too white there. It wasn't that white. I started scrubbing the white gouache in there.
The white can get out of control really fast. This, on the other hand, these suds right here, this little ocean spray you have off the top here looks great.
Some more white gouache here? Or?
No, I was just saying that looks really good. I like it. This is good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. Thank you.
All right. I like it. Thank you. All right, let's see. We've got Diane. Let's see. All right.
It looks like you missed me in the lineup.
Who'd I miss?
Jane.
Jane, sorry.
That's all right.
Maybe it looked a lot like Judy or something. I'm sorry. Sorry, Diane. I'll get back.
Just I have to leave in a little bit. That's all.
Okay, yeah. Cool. This is the one coming between the rocks.
Yeah, and you know what?
Yeah.
I ordered hot press by mistake, and I don't know what to do with it. It was difficult.
Weird, huh?
Really weird. I couldn't do a lot of things that I would have done on a cold press paper.
Yeah, this right here, this is the kind of look that you get with hot press. You get a lot of I call them puddles. And this is what happens. You get the wet here, and then it pushes everything out to the edges. So you get these you get a dark line around every little puddle you put down. And it's got a beautiful look to it. It's just, you got to get used to it and you got to get into it. And I've got a whole bunch of paintings I've done that way.
Well, I'm going to try more, but it's definitely different.
Yeah, it's a tough one. So maybe, in some of these areas, maybe you could hit a little bit of like yellow green or something.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, did I just put orange in there? That's what color I meant. So, occasionally in some of these areas. You'll get used to it. Keep working with it. You'll come out with a lot of hard edges like this.
Yeah.
And it's totally okay. I mean, it's the look of hot press. It
is kind of fun, and
it is.
I try to just like the first rock in the foreground using Kleenex, and it made a nice pattern on the rocks.
See, you're already learning it. That's what you have to do. You have to experiment with, just like anything. You have to develop your own way of using it, and you might want to look at books. There's a really good book if you guys are interested. It's called Breaking. I'll write it in the chat here. Well, no, I can't right now, can I? Breaking the Rules.
My connection's really terrible.
Rules of Watercolor.
I'll look for it.
Yeah, the artist's name is Bert Silverman. And he works on hot press, and he actually rubs things out, so like you kind of did. And really a great watercolorist. Really great. He does great portraits. his people are, but he does great landscapes too. A lot of people don't know that, but he's famous for his portraits.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Uh-huh.
All right. There's Diane. All right, Diane. Nice color.
Hey, Rob.
I love the pink in the sky. You got the red, yellow, blue in the sky. Nice
Got
clouds.
that red, yellow, blue after 10 weeks. That's one thing that stayed with me.
So how do you feel about using white? I mean, you obviously use
Well,
white.
I tried to use it after you started demoing it because, but it looks like it didn't really stay.
Maybe you use too much water.
Yeah, I mean, I always kind of have that issue, my water to paint ratio. But I didn't mind trying to use the white on this just to try to get some of the foamy parts on actually on the crashing wave, but it doesn't really show up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't really.
You know, did you glaze a little white on here?
A little bit, because I think you did
You can
that.
see it. It feels like the blue sky being reflected into it. I mean, I can feel it. It feels like sky being reflected. That's very nice.
Oh, good. I know
subtle.
I need to make that crashing wave darken the shadows where you were pointing out for everybody, because it doesn't separate as well, I don't think.
Yeah, it'll come back with something in there.
And I think I need to soften some of the curves. Well, you know that I have that Prussian blue at the bottom, kind of right there, and it's too hard of an edge.
Right, soften some edges, sure,
Yes,
yeah.
yes. I need to soften edges. Yeah, definitely. But
Yeah, so a little pop in there. Maybe tag a little bit of shadow occasionally right under your suds.
okay, yep.
That'll make them feel like they're curling over.
Mhm.
It will cast even all this. If you, that certainly could happen, and then I would just cast a little bit of shading under there.
Okay.
You know, if you want to burn this out a little bit, just pull it off a little bit, and then stick a little bit more yellow or
To get that glow, yes. Yeah, I
a little bit of that in
didn't
there. That could be
save.
fine.
Yeah, I didn't save the white there.
I mean, it's correctable, easily correctable.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
And then this looks good. This looks good. This is magnificent. The way your rocks are the completely perfect color and value to be that far away.
Oh, good.
I mean, the fact that you're making them bluer, and then of course lighter than the photograph. It looks better than the photograph. It makes them feel more distant.
Oh, good. Okay. I wasn't sure if I, it dried lighter. I wasn't sure. Should I go back in and make it dark? Because on the photo it looked dark. So that's one thing.
I'm noticing one of the things I missed, and I probably should have put in there, and I think yours could be helped by this too, is by taking a little bit of this color here, and just as if it's reflecting into the water a little bit.
Oh, yes. Yes, yeah.
Just a little bit here and there.
Okay.
I mean, not nearly as dark as I did it, but
Right.
I think mine could be helped by that too. So
Okay. That looks, so it doesn't look like it's just floating on top.
yeah,
Okay.
mine kind of looks like that too. So I think I missed out on that one.
Makes
Oh well.
sense. Okay.
All right. Other one, no, I think nice work.
Oh, well, thanks. Thanks,
Yeah.
Rob. This was fun, but also frustrating, but fun.
Well, maybe we should do more waves.
Yeah, I think so.
We'll make waves.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Gina. Oh yeah, wow. Crash. Is that all palette knife?
Just about, yes, I would say all. Tiny bit with a brush, but.
Nice. I like all the color you're getting into the foam. I can see the oranges in there. I can see the violets, the blues. You get green up in here in the wave. That's cool.
I took a class a few years ago in St. Ives, Cornwall in England, where the guy painted scenes like this. A guy named Gary Long at the St. Ives School of Painting. And I learned a lot from that. If anyone ever happens to be in Cornwall, I highly recommend that place.
I want to go.
My sister lives in England, so that's how I ended up there.
I would love to. And also, you know, here's something she's doing for people who paint in, you know, this medium as well. This is acrylics, but certainly oils as well. See how her strokes are going horizontal here, right? And then here, they're going more vertical, curling over. And then, but look how she flattens them out here. So even though, so just so you know, I mean, the direction of your strokes means a lot. It really does. It takes the viewer on a journey.
I love your rock.
Thank you.
That is a cool rock. So that was the, yeah, you got into that rock, didn't you? You kind of, did you just use like horizontal marks on there or what?
I used a palette knife with a straight edge rather than a curved edge. So you got that layering that really showed up in the picture.
Yeah.
It was good for that. That's a really good thing for a palette knife, that kind of rock.
See now, but I mean, see now you're using the different kinds of palette knives for different purposes. Aha.
Yeah.
There's a lot to it. I mean, there's some palette, like the really small, I don't see a lot of use for the really small, unless you're doing really small things. I usually use a big palette knife. But, I mean, nice. I like the green in the waves. You got the green here. You didn't put any over here, but I think you got enough green in there. I guess we could have some in here if you wanted to.
Yeah, could do.
Other than that, I think it looks very nice.
Thank you.
I like the white back here on the.
Yeah, I was painting. This is actually painted on. This is painted on arches.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you actually did on watercolor paper?
Yeah, it's acrylic on watercolor paper. So it's really nice for the little speckles in the water.
How big is it?
Yeah.
Is that a full sheet or?
No,
22?
it's like 9 by 12 or something.
Oh,
like
okay.
that. 10 by.
So for you, that's a sketch.
9 by 12. I usually paint 11 by 14, but.
Oh, okay. I thought you did really big, like 18 by 20 or something.
But I like painting oil on paper or acrylic on paper. It's a nice surface.
Yeah.
Arches makes this oil painting paper, which I really like painting on.
Right. It's a lot like the watercolor paper, right?
Yeah, but it's like has a coating on it, so oil works on it.
Oh, so it has a little gesso on it, maybe, or maybe
Not gesso, but something's in the paper. It's like sealed in some way. I
a
think.
barrier, right? Yeah, yeah.
It's really nice stuff for anyone who paints oil.
All right. Thank you. Nice color.
Thank you.
Yeah. There's Marie. All right. Marie likes the white. All right. So do I. Let's see. You there, Marie?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I was muted.
Oh, no problem. Okay, so you really got a lot of gesture in your wave. Feel the gesture of her wave, you guys. Kind of a lot of rhythm in it, you know. That works. Oh yeah, that works.
I kind of thought the wave looked like it was like divided in a third and 2/3. There was that white in the middle that I played with since I sent this to make it more, you know, like.
Oh, did you? Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like that. So.
Okay.
I don't know.
Let's see. If the light's coming from this direction, then I think this side might catch a little more light.
Yeah.
That's fine. Let's see. You got that reflection on there. Oh, that little, yeah.
Yeah.
I like your little spatterings of translucency. You can see the, the little yellow areas.
Right.
So you don't have to put it, I was just trying to show you guys how to do the classic glow, But you certainly do. And you did this stuff down here, which I don't think a lot of people pay that much attention to this stuff on the ground, but it is a big deal. And when you do it nicely, it's very effective. This works very nice. I think this works very nicely. Don't you think the white works on that?
Too much.
Huh?
I'm sorry. I was just saying the composition is sloping to the left too much. I think I should have made the sand a little bit more horizontal.
Oh yeah.
At the bottom. Just
what do you think? What now? Here's a big. Since you said that, what do you think about throwing in a couple of rocks?
How about a surfer or two? Yeah, maybe a rock. Yeah, that would.
Now this acts as an eye stopper.
Uh-huh.
Maybe coming out.
Yeah.
And you notice how I tilted them up?
Uh-huh.
I tilted them this way because you're coming down this way.
Right.
So I will do things like that in a piece to stop the eye.
Right.
And then the neat thing about that is you could come back and crash some foam behind it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just there's foam crashing behind it.
Why?
And the other thing you could do is maybe throw a little reflection on the ground right under it. I mean, it doesn't have to be that big of a deal. I mean, it doesn't have to be extremely jagged, dark edges, but on the other hand, it could be very effective. So if you feel like it, that's maybe something I do. Nice sky, by the way. Very effortless looking sky. Yeah, I like it.
Okay.
That's about it.
Okay. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you, Marie.
Mm-hmm.
And Barbara. Hello, Barbara.
Hi.
There we go.
I totally redid the bottom part of the middle.
Did you send it to me?
No, I didn't. You want me to send it?
I mean, if you feel like it, that's okay.
Okay.
What I would do is a little more contrast. Let's see. I mean, nice color, nice light watercolor feeling to it, by the way. Let's see. But a little more shadowing under the wave, a little more contrast here and in here.
Okay.
Just to pop that wave. And as you put them down, maybe curl that really.
Oh, okay. Curl it around. Yeah.
Push that curl a little bit more.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And so that'll make this pop out more.
Oh, good. Okay.
And the other thing I did was I put a couple more like what's it called? Prussian blue marks around there. And that'll make this. And if it's not popping enough for you, go ahead and shoot a little bit of yellow into that. You might even have to pull a little bit off first. Or what you could do is just hit a little white on there, let that dry, and then hit a little bit more yellow. It's up to you.
Okay.
Any way you like to go about doing it, but all I see in your piece to do is contrast. It just feels like it needs more contrast to me.
Oh, okay.
Which is typical in a watercolor. You know, they usually you don't hit the darks till the end, so yeah, you just need to just put some finishing moves in there. By the way, having that light is just fine. Just fine. I think that, yeah, mine's a little dark. And like I said earlier, you might even want to throw in a couple of reflections.
Okay, yeah.
If you do, don't make them any darker than this. Just put them in about the same color and value as that.
Okay. You know, for the contrast on the waves, should I use a Prussian blue?
On the wave itself?
Mm-hmm.
On the wave itself, yes. For that shading color I was using?
Yes.
Yeah, I would use Prussian blue. Yes, yes.
Okay.
And then maybe Prussian blue and well, maybe just pure yellow to begin with, like lemon yellow first.
And then like lemon there, yeah. Uh-huh.
You have blue on there and you can see right through it. Yeah, I just used Prussian blue. In fact, I could put a little more shading under mine too. So, yeah, I just used a little Prussian blue in there, that's all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Just needs to be popped. I wish I was there. I could go, give that to me.
Okay. No, that'll be fun. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Ready to be popped. That's usually what we do in the end of a watercolor. Now Henry's pops, Henry always hits his darks, and that's why they pop. You got some really nice color in this.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Really nice color. This sort of blue violet you have down in here. Really like that blue violet, and how nice is it that you use the more saturated dark color instead of just a gray?
Yeah, I just copied the photo. Maybe too dark, huh?
Was it bluer in the photo?
It's just
pretty
dark there.
Anyway, nice colors over here. Nice. Oh. I mean, I might have maybe put in a couple more strokes like that.
Mm-hmm.
And some of these really light shadows in the foam, I could see a couple of those in here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, on the left side of this foam, the little balls of foam, you know, I would put a little bit of that blue. Here, I'll try a little violet in there. Just a little bit here and there in those areas. Just to make it feel like it's more ball-like.
Mm-hmm.
That the foam it actually has shadows in it. They're very light though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like that, even lighter. That's about it though. This is great. See how subtle this is, this little kind of blue-gray on the sand? It feels like reflection.
Mm-hmm.
Did you even use any white? I don't even think you did.
It might have some opaque blue in it, or violet
Oh, yeah?
in it. Yeah, lavender.
Well, if you used anything opaque on there, you can hardly tell.
Very thin opaque colors. I use Holbein colors. It has turquoise, you know, lavender, this kind of viridian blue or something like that.
And that's the one that's acrylic, right? Gouache acrylic?
No, it's just a gouache like watercolor. I think they.
Okay.
I got palette in my. You can see those on my video if you take a look. These colors are opaque here.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah. So you don't have any problem using opaque colors?
Very thin opaque.
Well, I'm looking at yours really small on your desk too. It looks good.
This is the one I submitted. I'm working on the second one here.
Oh, okay.
I think I overworked on this area, so maybe.
Easy to do, huh?
Yeah, this too
That
many.
looks nice.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Henry.
Thank you.
Nice work.
Thank you.
Okay, we got Suzanne, excuse me. All right, Suzanne, you got the curling action. And I like all your little character marks. Let's see. These little. A lot of artists use those. Even when they draw the figure, you'll see artists. They'll put little hooks as they shade to help. Not only are they shading it, but they're actually using the direction of the stroke to kind of turn or give the feeling of turbulence or something.
Yeah, it just looks so flat to me. So I was trying to do something to add depth.
It does. It works. It is. It can be very flat. It can be really turbulent up here and then really flat down here.